There's a lot of religious material and literature out that tells us where we may end up in life, afterlife, be it heaven, hell. We have religious philosophy that says that in reincarnation we may come back as another person or maybe even an animal. We have scientists, anthropologists, psychologists, biologists, and all the like. Our clergymen, they tell us what we're made of: flesh and bones, spirit, soul. And the purpose of this message is not to prove or disprove any of it. By the way, like, subscribe, and hit that bell button. The purpose of this message is to help you to understand that in spite of it all, you have a great deal of control when it comes to who you want to be in life, shaping and molding your life, and where you're going to end in life, what your destiny is going to be. And that's good news, because that's power. Having the capacity to shape your image, to shape your character, is powerful. But it also comes with responsibility, because now you know. See, too many times we have took on the most popular image and we decided to imitate it. You may have been a young woman or a young man, and you looked up to an older woman and an older man, like their style, like the way they dress, and you took on that image. And you may not have decided I'm going to do this from a conscious point of view, but you just know you started kind of emulating that person just because. Be it the images that we see on television or by any form of media, the words in the lyrics that create an imagination. And we take this on because it's popular. There's some immediate gratification and benefits in looking this way, in talking this way, in walking this way, in dressing this way. And we move forward. And then something else may come out that's more popular or more beneficial. And we become that. And when I say becoming, I mean psychologically just taking on the mannerisms. We begin to almost become one with the person that we're emulating. And there's not anything necessarily wrong with that. It's nice to have good, positive role models in our life that may lend to our style and, our swag in the way we do things. But we have to be careful, because while we're taking on certain images, we're mixing and matching where we're headed, because each image has a destiny attached to it, a direct destiny. For example, someone who's living a reckless life, you can just about determine where they're going to end up at, be it prison, be it in jail, be it in the hospital, be it in some kind of mental institution. And then someone who has a very productive life, when you see them, they are all about reading and studying and taking in information, and they may even come across as like a nerd or whatever, but you can just about determine if they are to be consistent in doing so, they're going to end up in a pretty decent place in life. Show me someone who is doing a certain thing for over a consistent amount of time, and I can just about tell you how their life would likely turn out. So there's no arguing or disputing the fact that who Who you are determines what you do, and what you do determines where you're going to end up in life, your destiny. That's good news. That's powerful news. It gives you power to shape and mold yourself, but it also makes you responsible, because a lot of times we'll take the accolades of the successes in our life. But if anybody is involved and there's some failures, that's when the finger come out. So here's an opportunity to create yourself, recreate yourself, align it with a destiny, align it with where you want to go. And it makes life so much more simpler, because who you are is going to determine the choices you make in life. So a lot of times when you're in that fork in the road and you don't know which way to go, you don't know which decision to make, you're faced with some options, some alternatives. A lot of times, if you know who you are, given that you have decided who you're going to be, it really dwindles down the choices. Because who you are, don't do that and that and that. Who you are, don't do this and that and the other. Who you are, do what's aligned with where you're going in life. You've never seen a dog take on wings and just get up and fly, nor has a fish come out the water and start walking erect and talking like a human being. Not only would that be confusing, it would look ridiculous. And a lot of times we look ridiculous when we're imitating people and doing things that has no substance to it, has no planned out direction, but it's just going with the flow of life. Some will call that existing and not living. But more than anything, it's evidence that the person that lives like that don't know who they are and haven't decided who they want to be. So be it the religious people, be it spiritual people, be it the material, the religious literature, the scientists, those who really study. Whatever information, whatever idea you have about what this whole being is about, mind, body, spirit, soul, one thing that you can be sure of is that your character can be shaped by you. One thing you can be sure of is that once you shape your character and decide who you want to be, you have a better chance of going where you would like to go in life. There's an old African proverb. It says, work on establishing your character. Once it is established, it will work for you. How about that? It's almost like saying your reputation precedes you. Not only do it precede you, but it also follow you. So there's a great deal of evidence out here, concrete evidence without debate, that we do have the ability to determine who we are. And you don't have to go on some very profound and deep mission to try to figure out how it is that you need to shape your life and how it is that you need to mold what you want to be, thus what you want to do, thus where you want to be in life. It's all in your power. Because in the midst of all the philosophy, at the end of the day, it is going to be what you choose to do and who you choose to be that is going to determine where you're going to go. And I don't mean go in the sense of heaven and hell or be reincarnated and coming back. I'm talking about success on this plane. And that's whether you're determined to be sinner or saint. I mean, even the Bible itself says that the sun will shine on the good and the bad, just as the storms will, which is good evidence that no matter how people define you, how you live your life and who you decide to be sets you up for success or failure. Now, let me be clear. When I say success, I'm not talking about being a celebrity, but I'm not saying you can't be. I'm talking about success in the sense that I've set out to become this, make these choices so I can end up there. And when you make those choices, you're being successful because you're adhering to who you are. And when you end up there as a result of making those choices, then you're being successful. You gain some success because this was your aim. And that's what success is about. It's about putting goals out there, having a vision, and accomplishing it. And it don't necessarily have to mean that you're going to be some celebrity or some public figure, or you're going to be a billionaire or millionaire. No. That may be some people's success. So I'm not excluding that. I'm talking about not to definitely exclude the success you can have in terms of peace, in terms of control of your life, in terms of dwindling down the options when it comes to having so many choices out here that you can make. Dwindling down to the options that would make life so much simpler because who you decide to be will already determine what you won't choose to do in life and to what you will choose along the way. So let's end the mystery of trying to find out who you are. There's nothing wrong with searching your history. There's nothing wrong, and I encourage it. And there's nothing wrong with believing in a religion or religious sect, or getting in a religious sect, or being a part of, spiritual awakeness. However you want to word it. There's nothing wrong with any of that. I just want to add that with or without, there's a power in your hands that has given you the right as well as the capacity, religious or not. Doesn't have a whole lot to do with whether your soul gonna be saved when you die, but it has everything to do with how to create yourself, connect that image of creation to the choices that you would make, and the choices that you would make in life will definitely determine where you're going to land. Don't chase all these images. You ain't got to look here and there. Decide who you want to be. Go for it. Break the cycle.